I reached the venue with a tightness twisting in my stomach, the kind that warns you the night won't end well. The lights were bright, the flowers expensive, and yet the only thing people cared about was the family shame who would not be allowed inside. I heard my name whispered, then hers, always hers. Before I could take another step, my cousin puffed his chest and shouted at the gate like some self-appointed bouncer. Oh, new entry rule, no outsiders, no drama makers, especially not your Aunty Mira. The crowd laughed. My blood turned cold. Then I saw it, her name printed in bold on a banned guest list taped to the entrance pillar. Like she was a criminal, like she wasn't my blood, like she wasn't the woman who raised me when my own parents didn't bother. Relatives swarmed around me immediately. "Poor thing," one said, patting my shoulder, "stuck with that troublesome auntie." My uncle snickered loudly, enough for everyone to hear. "That woman begs for attention, craves important people noticing her." The humiliation burned so hot I felt it settle under my skin. My mother stood nearby, shaking her head with exaggerated disgust, pretending she didn't share a single drop of blood with her own sister. "A curse," she muttered. "An embarrassment." Guests gossiped without shame. How much money does she owe now? Remember the drama she created last time? She always ruins everything. I tried to speak, to defend her, even a little, but my voice vanished under their laughter, their sarcasm, their cruelty. Someone mocked her illness, calling it emotional blackmail tactics. They didn't know she coughed blood into napkins at night. They didn't care. Then my cousin grabbed the mic and made an announcement like it was a comedy show. "If anyone sees Mira trying to sneak in, alert security immediately." Laughter erupted. My vision blurred with anger so sharp it tasted like metal on my tongue. They had no idea what she'd fought through, what she'd survived, what she'd protected me from. Hands trembling, I texted her. "Auntie, don't come. They've banned you." She replied instantly, "Beta, let them talk. I'm coming." My heart slammed against my ribs because when Auntie said she was coming, she meant a storm was coming. Outside, everyone kept laughing, staring at the empty road. "She won't dare show her face," someone smirked. I stood alone near the gate, dread eating at me. The thought of them insulting her, again, made my chest tighten. "She should be grateful we didn't file a complaint this time," a relative muttered. That's when it hit me. They didn't just hate her. They wanted to erase her. I clenched my fists so hard my nails dug into my palm. Tonight, someone would regret underestimating Mira. A distant siren echoed down the road. Guests turned their heads lazily. Someone snorted. "Look, even the police won't come for her." But something in my gut shifted. They had no idea what was about to unfold. I was 8 the first time Aunty Mira stepped between me and violence. My father's rage had turned the living room into a battlefield, and the blow meant for my tiny body landed on her instead. The sound of it still echoes in my skull. She didn't even cry. She just held me tighter, whispering, "You're safe, Beta. I'm here." That day, she became more of a parent to me than the 2 people who raised me. When my mother decided that discipline meant starving me for days, it was Auntie who slipped rotis and mango slices into my room, her fingers trembling as she hushed me. "Eat quietly," she'd whisper. "Your hunger is not your fault." Her tiny rented house, smelling of incense, old paper, and warm tea, was the only place I ever breathed freely. It was where she taught me how words could become wings, how stories could build worlds, how survival wasn't weakness, it was rebellion. But even then, she hid her own wounds too well. I remember her coughing blood into tissues when she thought I wasn't watching. The family called her dramatic, but I knew the truth. Ulcers left untreated because no one would help her, not financially, not emotionally, not even with basic kindness. They blamed her for her divorce, whispering characterless behind her back. Yet I was the one who saw the bruises on her skin the night she fled her husband's fists and showed up at our door, terrified, shaking, begging for safety. They mocked her for starting an NGO for women, saying she was doing it for attention. But I saw the women who showed up at her doorstep with broken bones and broken lives. I saw her feed them, hide them, protect them. I saw her cry when she couldn't save some of them. And still, they spat on her name. She once sold her gold earrings, her last piece of jewelry, to pay for my school trip because my parents refused. I didn't understand sacrifice then. I do now. Every family function was the same humiliation. She'd walk in, hopeful, dressed in her favorite sari, and they'd treat her like a stain. Never offering a seat. Never offering respect. Whispers, mocking smiles, pointed fingers, always circling her like vultures. Last year, when she confronted an uncle who stole donation money from her NGO, they called her the liar. Attention seeker, they said. Drama queen. Always creating problems. The patriarchy in my family hated her for one simple reason. She didn't kneel. She didn't stay silent. She didn't let them rewrite her story. I remember nights when she cried on the terrace, staring at the moon as if it was the only witness she trusted. One day, she'd whisper, voice cracking, "Truth walks in with its own spotlight." I didn't understand the weight of those words, not until tonight. Her hands shook when she received that government notice, stating her NGO fraud accusations were dismissed, proving her innocence completely. She showed it to the family with a small, trembling smile. They didn't even look up. Tonight's ban, it wasn't sudden. It was years of cruelty crystallized into one final slap. My chest tightened as her voice echoed in my memory. I have one final card to play. Back then, I laughed, thinking she meant some small, harmless secret. But she just smiled at me and said, "Kindness circles back, Beta. It always does." I didn't know what that meant. Not really. But tonight I would. Rumors spread that Mira was seen near the parking area, and relatives began panicking like guilty people expecting a raid. The event organizer whispers something to my father, who looks furious, ordering security to tighten the perimeter. My mother mutters, "If she walks in, I'm leaving," desperate to protect her social image. Guests treat the situation like live entertainment, waiting for drama, phones already raised. The MC jokes into the mic, "Our number one troublemaker might arrive any minute." The crowd actually claps. I step outside, heartbeat thundering, scanning the quiet road. It feels like even the air is holding its breath. A sleek black car appears at the turn, unfamiliar and unsettling. Two security guards straighten instantly, sensing something serious. My cousin scoffs, probably some ride she begged for. But as the car approaches, I notice a tiny official flag attached to the front, and my stomach drops. The gate guard abruptly salutes, confusing everyone around him. More cars appear behind it. An actual convoy, polished, intimidating, clearly official. Guests begin murmuring, stepping back with uncertainty written all over their faces. My uncle tries to bark orders at the guards, but his voice betrays him and cracks. My phone buzzes, a message from Aunty. "Stay near the gate, do not be afraid." My legs feel weak, but I walk forward as the lead car stops right in front of me. A man in a tailored suit steps out first. He looks at me, nods respectfully, as if he already knows who I am. Whispers explode around me. Is that a minister? Why is he here? Then the backseat door opens slowly. And there she is. Aunty Mira steps out, not like someone who has been shamed or excluded, but like someone arriving to reclaim a throne. Her sari glitters under the floodlights. Her posture is tall, unshakable. Her expression is calm, dangerously calm. In that moment, I understand she didn't come to create chaos. She came to end a legacy of humiliation. A ripple moves through the crowd as the minister steps beside Aunty, standing like a personal security wall made of pure authority. Someone whispers, "Is she involved with him?" But others immediately hush. His status is far too high for such careless gossip. Aunty gives me a small smile, her eyes soft for a single heartbeat before sharpening into steel again. My father forces a shaky greeting toward the minister, attempting politeness he doesn't feel. The minister doesn't acknowledge him. Instead, he turns to me and asks, "Are you Mira G's nephew?" Gasps crack through the crowd like electricity. Heat rushes to my face. Auntie's confidence radiates outward, magnetic, dangerous for those who once mocked her. My uncle lunges forward, trying to block her path. "She is banned," he announces, desperate to regain control. The minister lifts one eyebrow. Security steps in instantly, pushing my uncle aside like he's nothing but background noise. A silent shift sweeps through the grounds, decades of ridicule dissolving in seconds. The minister then pulls out his phone and speaks loudly enough for everyone to hear. "Yes, bring the file, the one concerning misuse of family trust funds." My cousins lose all color. Panic washes over their faces. Aunty finally speaks, her voice calm, melodic, and lethal. "I told you." Kindness circles back. "I helped him when no one else cared." Phones rise. Guests start recording, sensing this is the moment the family will try to erase later. Then the truth detonates. Aunty had once recommended the minister for a scholarship when he was a struggling youth escaping an abusive home. The minister says openly, "If Mira had not helped me, I would not be alive today. Tonight, I return that debt." The relatives scramble to rewrite history, stuttering, smiling awkwardly, pretending they always adored her. My mother even tries touching Auntie's feet, but Aunty steps back without hesitation. The air changes, thick, charged, righteous. It feels as if justice has walked in and taken its seat at the front row. Aunty places a gentle hand on my shoulder. "Stay close," she whispers. "You're about to see why I came." Then she nods to the minister. The showdown begins. Official files arrive, thick, sealed, carried by officers whose boots echo through the stunned hall. The minister hands them directly to Aunty, bypassing every elder who once mocked her, honoring her as the only authority that matters. She opens them on the welcome table, the same table where the family once refused her a seat. Page after page reveals signatures, proof of stolen donations, misused funds, and lies crafted with calculated cruelty. Gasps rip through the hall. Phones lift. Flashlights burst like fireworks. Someone screams. Someone curses. Someone faints. My uncle collapses into a chair, staring at the rows of signatures that match his own crooked handwriting. The minister's voice slices through the chaos. A formal investigation begins tonight into systematic harassment against a whistleblower, Mira. My mother shrinks into herself, finally realizing the weight of the lies she helped spread. Aunty pulls out another envelope, letters forged by the family to sabotage her NGO's license. She holds them up like evidence in a courtroom, her face unreadable. The minister snaps his fingers. Officers move instantly. The event organizer, who collaborated in the fraud, is escorted out, stumbling and sweating. Chaos detonates. Relatives cry. Some kneel. Some try to grab Auntie's hands. Some beg like criminals, pleading for mercy. Aunty does not waver. "I am not here for revenge," she says, standing tall under the blinding lights. "I am here for truth." But her eyes burn with the quiet fire of someone who has carried pain for years and is finally watching justice rise. Then she drops the final blow. Her NGO is being reinstated with full government backing. The large screen behind the stage lights up, showing her achievements, her rescues, the women she protected, the lives she rebuilt. Faces freeze. Lies crumble. The room chokes on silence. My father attempts to touch her feet. She steps back gracefully, her voice calm as a blade. A relationship built on disrespect has no rituals left. The elders gasp as officials seize control of the family trust, freezing assets pending investigation. The greedy ones look hollow, drained of the power they once flaunted. The minister turns to her publicly. Miraji, we request you as the chief guest for the next state event. She nods gently, a queen accepting her throne. She walks into the hall with the minister beside her, the cameras following, flashes blooming around her like a coronation. The applause erupts, not for the family, not for tradition, but for the woman they tried to erase. For the first time, Aunty doesn't look like someone fighting to survive. She looks like someone who finally and undeniably won. The function continues, but everything feels different, like the walls themselves are holding their breath. Fear hangs in the air, tangled with awe, as if no one knows how to exist in a world where Mira is no longer their victim. Children drift toward her instinctively, their innocence untouched by years of adult cruelty. They tug at her sari, ask questions, giggle, and she lowers herself to their height, speaking softly, her voice warm and steady. Even after being dragged through fire, her heart hasn't hardened. It never could. I notice some relatives slipping away through the side gate, unable to look her in the eye, unable to confront the mirror she just held up to their faces. The minister approaches me before leaving, placing a reassuring hand on my shoulder. I'll oversee the case personally. She deserves justice, every bit of it. His convoy departs, leaving a hush behind it. Aunty and I finally sit at a table, one she was once shooed away from. Now it feels like a throne reclaimed. My voice trembles. Why didn't you tell me you knew him? She smiles, the familiar softness returning. You don't announce good deeds. You let them return when the world least expects. Guilt twists in my chest. I should have defended you more. She takes my hand, her grip gentle. You stood by me in silence. That's worth more than noise. She looks away for a moment, eyes glistening, not with weakness, but with the cost of strength. She admits she had been terrified before coming, afraid they'd tear her down again, afraid the past would repeat itself. Then she says the line that breaks something inside me. I wasn't fighting for myself. I was fighting so you never grow up thinking silence is survival. My chest aches, pride mixing with guilt, love mixing with regret. Relatives approach, their apologies shaky, rehearsed, hollow. Aunty listens, but she doesn't accept a single one without accountability. No comforting lies, no easy forgiveness. Not this time. She walks the venue slowly, reclaiming every spot where she had once been shunned, each corner a battlefield she now owns. As the event winds down, she decides to leave early, not to savor victory, but because she doesn't need to. Her truth has already reshaped the night. I walk her to the minister's car. She steps in with quiet grace, giving me one last look that feels like a blessing and a warning. Okay, tonight didn't just change the family. It changed me. It redefined what power truly looks like. Unbroken, unapologetic, and finally seen. Suffer. As her car disappears into the night, I stand beneath the fading event lights, the echoes of everything that happened still vibrating through me. My heartbeat feels louder now, not from fear, but from understanding. Strength isn't loud. Strength is steady, patient, and when it finally rises, it shakes everything built on lies. My family spent years trying to break her spirit, erase her voice, bury her truth. But tonight, she shattered their legacy of silence instead. I whisper into the cool night air, almost afraid someone might hear, Aunty, you truly won. As I turn back, my eyes fall on the banned guest list, crumpled, trampled, defeated at the entrance, the same list that was supposed to erase her existence. I pick it up. I rip it clean down the middle. The pieces slip through my fingers, falling like dead leaves that no longer belong on any tree. The humiliation they planned for her became the stage where she reclaimed her name. Her truth lit the entire hall brighter than the chandeliers ever could. And in that moment, I learned something I will never forget. The world tries to bury women like her. They forget she grows roots in the dark. I make a silent vow right there on the steps of that venue. I will join her NGO. I will fight beside her. Louder, braver, without apology. I turn toward the imaginary camera of my life, speaking to anyone who might be listening. If someone in your family is being silenced, stop clapping with the crowd. Stand up before they rewrite the truth. And then, with the kind of certainty that only comes after witnessing courage up close, I say the final message, the one I hope reaches the right person. If her courage moved you, share this story. Someone out there needs to see how one woman changed an entire room simply by walking into it. I walk it away from the venue for the last time, each step lighter than the last, carrying her strength like a torch, burning a path toward a future where none of us will ever be silent again.